Hello and welcome to the Yas Marina circuit for the conclusion of Season 2 here in ERL. With the season coming to an end, we are here for another league race. It's 14th round, I do believe, where we have seen the league quadruple in size, and we also have had new champions take their throne and mark their name and their history into this ever-growing league. To cap off the season, we head to the Middle East to race in the notorious Yas Marina circuit held in Abu Dhabi. The Yas Marina circuit measures at 5.2 kilometres, has 16 corners, 8 left, 8 right, as well as 2 DRS zones. This is the finale here in ERL Season 2. I'm Spray. I'm joined by F1ology for the final time this season. How are you, F1ology?
Yeah, not too bad. Nice to be here tonight, of course, or this evening. How are you, mate?
Absolutely perfect. I will just quickly go through the championship standings. Obviously, it has been over for a couple of weeks now, but it is Nice Job who is more than comfortably ahead. 86 points. So obviously, he has already won the championship. Danny sits second as well as Alia, hunting down for that second place spot. But with no Danny, no problem for Alia. I think he will be able to pick up that second place. Well, anyway, the reserve sits in fourth with I believe, a few race wins in there. Yes, Portugal was one of his good race wins. Also, one of probably the best races this season, I would go as far to say. A really incredible drive. Got the strategy right. Oscar sits fifth with DMAC, Koskas, Vin, Porsche, Applegarn and Lewis rounding up the top 10. Regarding constructors, once again, it is over. AlphaTauri take the constructors with Alfa Romeo sitting second, but Ferrari hot on their tail for the final race this season. And with one Alfa Romeo versus two Ferraris, this is going to be a hot shot for those two for the second place of the standings. Aston Martin sit in fourth place with 135, with Williams right on their tail as well. But that Aston Martin team looks very strong tonight, to say. So I think they will be able to hold that position. Mercedes sixth, with Haas in seventh, Red Bull in eighth, McLaren in ninth, and Alpine in 10th. However, 1 point short of McLaren, so they most definitely will not want to be on the last step of the constructors' standings for this season, and hopefully knock down McLaren.
Nope, obviously they won't want to be, losing out to McLaren and all of that. But nonetheless, yeah, been a good season, I think. As you said, Portugal was a great race, actually. Um, would you say it's best race of the season?
Um, I I struggle to remember a lot of them, but I remember Portugal being really good.
Yeah, Portugal was really good and brilliant win for well anyway. He
Yeah, 100%.
absolutely stormed to victory there. So yeah, no, that was a really good one. Also, I think Italy was a good one.
What,
Even though it
Imola
was
or
wacky.
Monza?
Monza,
Yeah,
not
Monza was
Imola,
really good.
because Imola was a bit of a, don't want to say boring, but it was a bit of a snooze fest in a
Yeah.
sense. Like first half of it was good, but second half wasn't as good. Bit too long really. Still, um, obviously we've got a full grid tonight, or just shy of
Yeah,
it,
just
two
short of it,
cars.
but 18 drivers is still, I think, good enough. I would love to have 18 drivers.
Yeah, 18 is more than enough. As Big Zuri goes to the top,
Oh,
followed by
no,
Ali.
he doesn't. Alia.
So, yep,
I
Alia
did just do the
on top.
trial with Alia as well, and as well as Cookie, and they both had some serious pace. I managed to hold on for all 5 laps, but I was pushing a decent amount. I got an invalidation for a track limit or penalty for track limits, so I was. Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh wow! A 22 flat. Jesus,
Um, Mr. Cookie
Mr.
is
Cookie.
really quick. Obviously one of the PRL racers. But yeah, he's really, really quick. He is. And probably would be up there with J Halls if he was racing tonight. But then also going to have to watch out for Dan Dan and Matthias. I think them two will be able to challenge Cookie for that top spot. potentially. So currently riding on board with the Aston Martin driver, who's on a hot lap, as he then heads into the chicane. This chicane can be pretty tricky, especially on the exit. Can easily get loose as it's a little bit off camber, but nonetheless, up then towards, I think this is banked now, turn
It's
12.
a little bit banked. It's not really that. It's a little bit.
Yeah, it's not heavily banked, not like the banking you get in Zandvoort, but is a little bit banked. So a little bit off camber though on the exit, a little bit. This corner is very much off camber towards the exit, so you really gotta try and be careful on the front, not let the front get away from you and slide it into the barrier or whatever. Then through the final corner, he will come and not too greedy on the exit, and it's a 22.8 for the Aston Martin driver. It's a little bit closer to Mr. Cookie.
Yeah, I'm expecting more from Matthias there, to be entirely honest. Obviously, hasn't really participated much during this season, but P2 is still a good place to fight from, but 8 tenths back is going to have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, there's a huge gap to the rest of the field.
I think Algeri's on a lap? Yeah, but he is. Let's go through the full flying lap into turn 3. That long right-hander where moves can be made and lunges can be sent. Purple sector 1 for the Ferrari driver. Out of the hairpin, little wobble on the exit because can't really get that car straightened up and just can't get the power down. But rear wing is now open all the way down this first back straight into the uphill chicane where hitting your braking points is going to be necessary. Left, and he swoops it right. He's going to keep the traction nice and smooth. No wheel spin on exit. Second back straight enabled with the rear wing. DRS flowing, car flying. Next corner is, I believe, turn 10. The long fifth left-hander skicks it right up to the curb into 7th. Now it's the double right-hander into a quick, sharp braking zone. Drops it into 3rd gear now. He has to ride both of these curves and make sure he doesn't lose traction on the exit of this corner. Exiting turn 14, now into 15. The flat right-hander once again struggles just to get the car straightened up there into corner 16. What's it going to be for the Ferrari? He's going to put himself into P7. Then Porsche's also on a flying lap. He's just under a 10th up, but through the second sector, what can he do? He's a 10th and a half up, so maybe this could see himself move to second place. AlphaTauri already over in this season, but maybe a last gay podium could be something on their bucket list. Then Porsche aiming now for the second place in this qualifying session. Goes a little bit wide onto the curb. He's got a bit of traffic right ahead of him. He's going to pick up, he's going to try and pick up the slipstream into the final corner. What's it going to be? Can he improve by a lot? He's like a wobble on the exit, but he does move up into second place.
Yeah, that is, well, a decent effort from Vin Porsche, who's obviously gone into P2. Was just on board with Dan, and he's not seeming to be getting into any sort of rhythm out there this evening. 9 minutes to go though. Usually he's a driver who can certainly be up there with the best in this league. Still got, obviously, 3 drivers to set a lap time, obviously, so far. And those are Ramlef and Piers. But nonetheless, Mr. Cookie, I think, might be about to go back out, unless that's Mans, not Bob. Not really too sure which one it is. But,
I'm just following Briggsy on this lap. He is finding himself a bit more pace. Purple in the middle sector, 2 tenths up. Not going to see him move up a place, but can start to close the gap onto the Aston Martin, sitting 3rd and 5th. Super result from them two at the minute. I think that must be the strongest team I've seen, Alia and Matthias, because they're definitely going to get further up the grid. That is a super strong team.
Yeah. Even though at the start of the season, Kotos and
Takat.
Was it? Yeah, him, Patrick, and who was his teammate? Who was Patrick's teammate?
Kostos, wasn't it? Or Co-Star?
pretty sure it was them two. But yeah, nonetheless, the Ferrari was a pretty strong grouping at the start of the season, to be fair.
Yeah, obviously, the Ferrari boys were the main sort of challenger onto the AlphaTauri of Nice Job, but obviously was not enough. Nice Job powering through the pressure. Co-Star is just under a tenth improving on this lap into the chicane. It does drop it into second gear. Oh, there's a little short shift to third. I like that. Definitely running no traction into the DRS zone down the back straight. The crowd looking a bit empty. The best team is rather noises. Teammate doesn't matter. That is also true. Co-Star 8 tenths up. Now that is a pretty solid middle sector. He's purple through the middle sector, in fact. So this could maybe put him up to what? Maybe 8th place, maybe higher, maybe into 7th, depending on what he can do. He just needs a few more hundreds through the final sector. Can see himself put up to Charlie Harris. Not really using all the track there out of the exit of 14. Sort of just gets the car onto the straight. Co-Star across the line. Where's it going to be? P7. I was close. He did get the position on Charlie, though.
Yeah, that's a very good effort by Co-Star. Then, as Dan sets now his first lap time, moves himself up into 7th, so he's now ahead.
Matthias is also 4 tenths up.
Is really improving now, so could this be the first challenger to challenge Mr. Cookie as he comes through then the final sector? Quite nice through there, running it right almost out to the white line, but yeah, pretty nice nonetheless. On the curb a little bit at the exit then, and cross the line now, and only 3 tenths off pole. So it's getting closer and closer then, as they're all lining up to challenge Mr. Cookie for pole position tonight.
It was great to talk about how much nicer the cars look now due to the new update. They look so much better.
Yeah, they do. The Aston Martins obviously had an update with the livery a little bit. Got now the blue and red stripes on the, like, I don't know what you'd call the rear. It's not a shark fin like they used to have in the Formula One back in 2017. I guess it's a mini shark fin or whatever. Also the Mercedes has had a side pod update, and same with I think the Ferrari. Other than that, I don't think there's any other updates, but yeah, no, it does look more aesthetically pleasing.
Yep, that is all I care about. Obviously, the helmet reveals, or what's it called? The helmet of the day is a dying breed now because I have not on the TV pod camera anymore. With some of the delight coming from people like Will anyway, and some people not liking the normal TV pod, but I like the TV pod offset. It's going to be an ever-dying meme now. How Matthias going to like it?
Still, to be fair, there isn't really much more creativity anyway, like when you're being honest about it, in terms of helmets, because everyone's either running the, Carlos Sainz helmet at the moment, or the Max Verstappen Miami helmet, or whatever. So people are just using those helmets instead.
I mean, yeah, Algeria I'm looking at now is using the Carlos Sainz one.
Exactly. Pretty much, yeah. Oh well.
Well, Algeria in the Ferrari does take the purple middle sector. At this point, I'm not really sure if they're actual purple middle sectors anymore.
To be fair, the game is a bit, I think, bugged still there, where it will say it's purple, but it's not. So I don't think you can exactly believe it. But he is 3 tenths up on his, or 4 tenths up on his lap time. Did have a bit of a wobble, so another slide out of the final corner, but slight improvement, only by about 1.5 tenths, so not enough to move up any positions, but still improved his lap time. As Kotos is currently 4th as in Porsche. Then, obviously, first lap time was a 1:22.6. So he will be looking to improve on this lap time and get himself up the order then as he, well, heads into the banking turn of, I think is it 11 or 12?
This must
Oh, big
be...
slide.
Oh, wow.
Lucky not in the barriers there for him. And unfortunately, I think that will be his qualifying over for then today, because he ain't going to have time to, well, really go again, come into pits and go again for a new set. So unless he's got enough fuel on board, that will be it for him.
Don't believe he does, and he's going to enter the pit lane. That is the AlphaTauri's gate over. Who else could be on a flying lap? Algeri's, I think, qualifying is also over. He's out of fuel, he's invalidated, and that is him lap done. A lot of these drivers are exiting the pit lane now. I think Matthias will be our first to set a lap. There is a Haas coming. Was that Cavalis? That is Sir Waffler. He said in the GRL Monster he was getting quicker today, and in his words, to challenge Shea. So let's see what you've got, Sir Waffler, and he's not going to do it. He's going to go on a second push-up. After all of me saying that, you're going to do that to me. I'll see how it is. Let's have a look at Cavalis then. He is going to be on a push lap. Let's just go through this for the minute until we get some of the front runners beginning their laps. Cavalis in the Haas for tonight, coming through corners 2 and 3, swooping the car left and right, keeping the foot planted and keeping the traction sorted. 8,000ths down on his previous lap time, something that can be easily recovered. DRS is now open. If you want to stay on board with Matthias and just let us know how he is doing, I will maybe skip to him if he does improve in the first sector. And Cavalis has actually invalidated. It's a lazy invalidation. Let's go on board. CPI Matthias in the Aston Martin. Let's have a look. Can he dislodge Cookie from pole? And he's done it. He's started his charge already by a purple first sector. Mr. Cookie is not going to finish his qualifying session. This is a bold move. He's just going to sit there and watch Matthias try and take it off him. Down now into the uphill chicane, drops it down to third. He's going to try and coast this car up the hill and just make sure he gets a pretty strong exit using all the curb. DRS now open for the Aston Martin to charge to this left-hander. Turn 9 on the circuit, second sector, 2/10 up. He's gone purple again in the middle sector. Is this the lap that gets Matthias on pole? He's almost invalidated. He's using all the circuit here. Now into turn 12, drops it into third. Now into 13, into fourth. He's going to touch both curbs. And oh, he's gone super close, but he's kept it in bounds. Turn 15, now into 16, the penultimate gun, the final corner. Can Matthias take pole position? Yes, he can! A 21.897. He's taken pole off of Mr. Cookie. Koskos still on his lap, has invalidated.
Yeah,
superb lap from Matthias.
His teammate Ali's also joined him in the top 3, going on a 22.4, so that's an excellent qualifying.
That's an unreal lap.
Aston Martin. Briggsy is also on a good lap, so can he maybe get into the top 5 or into the top 4 even? Well, he's going to come around the final corner now for Briggsy, and it is 4th place for the Williams driver. Kotos has invalidated, so Dan, I think, will be one of the last drivers to come around, but got a bit of traffic in the way ahead of him with a Haas. Not really sure if it's going to affect him too much, however, that's going to probably affect him a lot.
Definitely going to affect him. And they've even made contact on the final. Oh, wow.
Still does a 22.5, but...
he's invalidated.
23.5, but he's invalidated, which means for the Alfa Romeo...
It would have put him about 6th place, maybe 5th.
Yeah, probably would have been, well, 22.5, didn't he?
Oh, wait, is it because the Haas's car had already crossed the line? Or was that actually Cavalis driving?
It was invalidated before he crossed, so...
Well, only one car to not settle up, and that was Aram left. That's not Appledorn, is it? Didn't
No,
change
that's
his
a
name,
Ramleth.
no?
No, that's a Ramleth. He's a Norwegian.
Ah.
So definitely
Charlie
not
Harris win
Appledorn.
is still alive according to Will anyway. I don't see that happening, to be perfectly honest with you. Well, if you want to go through the race classification, I'll let you do it. Short qualifying
Sure.
classification.
So, CPI Matthias is on pole, followed by Mr. Cookie in P2, and P3 we have Ale in P3 for Aston Martin. So it's a 1 and 3 for Aston Martin, very good result for them. Briggsy P4, then 5th we got then Porsche, 6th Kotos, 7th Charlie Harris, 8th Tom, 9th is Man's Not Bob, Dandan in 10th, Costa is in 11th, and Sir Waffler is in 12th. Certainly not, what's his name? But nonetheless, Algri 13th, Cavolis is 14th, then Perez in 15th, then we got Power in 16th, then the Dutch driver in 17th, and Ramliff rounds up the back of the grid. I think that went pretty smoothly, to be fair.
Yep.
So who did Sir Waffler say he was like Shay?
Shay. Yep.
Alright.
Shay.
Yep, Shay.
Shay.
Doesn't come 13th. Or 12th.
Oh wait, is it not set on midnight? Oh, that's gonna be a shit. Well, no, it's not. The race isn't set at midnight, is it?
It'll
Is
be
that
dusk to dawn.
Yeah. It's like sunset. It's
Whatever.
not actually at midnight, which is a bit annoying.
No. But it will be by the time the race finishes. It should be
Yeah, be
pretty
close
much
to it.
pitch black. So be good. I
Waffler
suppose
will
that's
indeed.
another element for the drivers.
Well, anyway, said that Waffler will indeed beat his record of most retirements in a season.
To be fair, he's probably not wrong.
And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. I didn't realise there was no formation lap, but for the final time in ERL, it is lights out and away we go. Matthias does hold the lead from the Red Bull as they go through the first corner. Everyone is sort of staying in the same position. Cookie applying a bit of pressure onto the back of Matthias. Alia seeking to help out his teammate. Hold on to this lead. He's going to try and close up to the back of the Aston Martin, but no formation lap. Sort of did spook me out a little bit, but no cars really changing position. It was a clean getaway for almost everyone.
Yep, pretty much is a clean getaway from everyone. No real issues from anyone.
Oh, there we go. There's going to be a change for the
Tom
lead.
is at the
Matthias
back.
and Cookie side by side into the chicane. Cookie just couldn't find the brake pedal late enough. There's a lot of positions here. As Charlie Harris goes off the track, and it was a Red Bull forcing him off. That sounds a bit. I've heard that before. Cookie now takes the lead of Matthias on the first lap. Matthias with the perfect start has now lost the position. I'm having a feeling that Cookie's car has got a lot less downforce than Matthias, because he gains a lot during the straights. Cookie was complaining in this third sector. He does struggle to keep traction. I've just seen him slip as well coming through turn 13. But Charlie Harris in a Mercedes and Man's Not Bob in a Red Bull going side by side into the chicane, and the Mercedes going wide and cutting the corner. Where have I heard that before?
Probably 2021.
Yeah, sounds like it. Alia trying to actually put a bit of pressure now on his teammate. Has closed up just a little bit. Batteries hasn't really been used. There's a little bit of gap at the back. Cavalis is on the back of the Williams, just 2/10 back. Let's see what sort of traction he can get onto the Williams. I don't think any moves are going to be made just yet. Costas on the back of the Williams. Could the lunge be made into this turn 5? I think no, it can, but one move is going to be made, and that is trying to be damned down onto Man's Not Bob. Just cannot get it well enough. Man's Not Bob did actually find the brakes pretty well, but this battle is not over. Alfa Romeo versus Red Bull. Dan versus Bob into turn 9. Bob holds the position. Costa goes past FC as well. Alia right up to the back of his teammate now. This is going to be a pretty interesting situation down by the Aston Martin garage, because they got two drivers, second and third. they're in a position where they will take the position on Williams, I believe, for the constructors.
Yeah, it is an interesting one. Both of them seem reasonably paced, both Alia and Matthias, but I don't know. For me, I think Alia right now seems to be, out of the two Aston Martin drivers, a bit more comfortable in the early phase of this race. However, he did just cut a little bit of the inside corner there, so potentially would have picked up a warning for him. So
Yeah, possibly, but here we go.
we'll
Lap
have DRS
3
though.
of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and DRS has now been enabled for every driver on the grid. Alia is the one making the charge here, but Matthias really gaining on this back straight. He's going to max out 7th gear. I've never heard that before. Matthias, me to give you a little lesson. That's Alia! I think he's been punted off! Alia has been sent spinning here at down by corner 6. And I have a feeling that was involved with Vin Porsche. I want to say I knew they were sort of close together, and I think Vin Porsche misjudged his braking point. You don't lose traction in a braking zone. He must have been hit, and I'm assuming it was Vin Porsche. Just have a look at his front wing.
Yeah,
Vin Porsche with a full wing,
damage.
but I know he's got a full wing, but I have a feeling that Alia has now been punting off the circuit. That makes the most sense to me.
Does seem to have a bit of understeer though, which could be, even though they got a full wing, could have a bit of damage still to that car. Through the high speed, he certainly had a bit of understeer for Vin Porsche.
Yep, unlucky for Alia, but incidents are going to happen on a braking zone like that, and unfortunately that is one of the more common ones that could happen. Let's go back up to the front of this is Matthias versus Cookie, the battle for first place. The battle that doesn't really entirely mean a lot for the championship, apart from pride and personal success. Matthias closing in with the DRS. Nothing moved yet. Alia does get his first position on his comeback drive, and it is on ERL Perez. Let's see who's next on the list. It would be the Williams of St. Paul, and I got it wrong. It is Aston Martin defending their position on Williams. So at the minute, they're still doing enough to hold on that position. They need a 3-point deficit to tie the lead, is Williams. But for the minute, Aston Martin do seem to hold that 5th place in the standings. Oh, sorry, 4th place in the standings.
Yeah, I think Briggsy will be getting through the AlphaTauri driver Vin Porsche sooner rather than later, because Vin Porsche has gone off the circuit at, I think it's turn 12 or whatever it is, that long swooping left-hander on the exit. But nonetheless, still ahead of the Williams driver for now. Man's Not Bob did make a move on Algary, who is now behind the Red Bull driver. But for Mr. Cookie and Matthias, or Matthias, to be fair, if Cookie wins today, this would be his first race in ERL, so would be probably the only driver with 100% win streak this season.
Yep, and that is a pretty cool stat in the thought of it, but when you look a bit more into context, it's not as impressive, but we'll leave it out without the context. Matthias is sort of trying to close up to the back. I think at this point they're just trying to coast themselves along from the rest of the pack. He's not using the battery. Cavalos does take the position onto the Alpine. Not many things that the Alpines can do in the position they are in, just trying to get in to 2 points to get the constructors off of McLaren to move from 10th to 9th place.
Yeah,
well, actually, they could even overtake
Breezy's-
Red Bull, but with Mr. Cookie sat in first, I don't think that's going to be very possible. And there's a spinner, which is FC, and he is spun by corner, turn 9? He is spun out, and that is an unfortunate day for Alpine, running a pretty strong race, doing enough to beat McLaren, but has now lost it and sits in 17th position. Vin Porsche closed up now to the back of Briggsy for the final podium position. Koskas also in the hunt. Matthias is also closing on to the back of Cookie, a bit closer this time, so not really. Yeah, but if you race once and you only win the one race and then don't do it again, you're going to be known as a guy with a 100% win rate. But if you actually race more than once, come on, nice job. Think. Oh, there's a safety car.
Safety car.
What?
Yeah, well, to be fair, it's probably for a front wing. So let's see whose front wing is missing. And it's FC front wing who is missing. So there we go. That is what's caused the safety car. Safety cars are a bit more trigger happy now on the game. If you break your front wing, that's it. The FIA need to slow down the pack and basically re-rack them, sort of thing. So there you go. Obviously, I'm not really, well, I suppose could come in or you could stay out. Really dependable, I suppose, isn't it? Matthias is coming in, so there we go.
Man's up Bob. Sorry. Nice job was questioning whether it's on standard or reduced. It's on standard. See, nice job. You're wrong. It's on standard. I didn't make the lobby, so I was kind of hoping it was on standard. But let's have a look at the pit stops. There's a few in the pit lane. Porsche, Matthias, Dan, Perez, FC. No, FC's not in the pit lane just yet. There's a lot of pit stops. Matthias now into 7th place behind his teammate.
Yeah, safety cars on standard, so I think we can get up to, what is it, 3 or 4 safety cars then?
Yeah, I think it's 3.
Still. Yeah, Matthias obviously in for the hards, so he probably can get to the end of the race on those, to be fair. For everyone else, staying out pretty much. So half the cars are on fresh tyres, the other half are on used. Pretty much, it's almost a 50-50 split. So lap 7 of the race, and Cookie leads from Briggsy. The only good thing for Cookie is he will have a bit of a buffer to Matthias, who has now 7 cars or 6 cars to clear if he wants to get back up into second. Probably should be able to do that with ease, but obviously sometimes have to be a bit cautious, because obviously, not all of them, I'm not saying are gonna cause a problem, but you got Sir Waffler, the new Shay, who likes to try and not give up the position to anyone. So yeah. To be fair, he is up to 5th at the moment in this race, so he is doing well.
Nitro is saying in the chat about the decision making from Mr. Cookie in the Red Bull. 7-lap-old medium. Matthias has just decided to go onto the fresh hard, which we'll see him go to the end of the Grand Prix. Is there a situation where you wouldn't pit from a set of mediums? Is this just gambling for another safety car? Or can he maybe miss the pit lane?
To be fair, I don't think it's a bad decision, because, right, I know, anyways, right, obviously, Matthias obviously will have a strategic advantage when the safety car comes in, but I don't think it's a bad call, especially with the early safety car. There's always potential there's going to be more safety cars. I mean, on average, probably we have 2 safety cars a week. So, yeah, there's always potential that, in fact, Cookie could get those mediums to lap, 18. And if a safety car came out around lap 16, he could go on to softs and get home on softs, which would be a lot quicker of a tyre, potentially. So I don't think it's a bad decision, ultimately, from Mr. Cookie. To stay out for now, and even if obviously he doesn't do that and there is no more safety car, then obviously Mr. Cookie will have obviously the upper hand in terms of tyre life at the end of the Grand Prix. So can be a bit of a win-win for Cookie actually.
Well, the safety car is coming in, and it is going to be green flag racing. In just a moment, the safety car entering the pit lane. Let's see when the Red Bull of Cookie is going to go on the old medium tyre. Let's see what he can do. He's going to decide to go now really squirrely on the exit there. Briggsy hasn't really followed him, but it is going to be Cookie from the Williams with the Red Bull sandwich leading up from the podium. It is lap 9 here in Abu Dhabi. 21 laps still to go. Briggsy goes wide on the exit of corner 1. No cars really making any moves. No cars making mistakes, but one move I'm going to look at is the battle of the Aston Martins. It's going to be Alia letting Matthias through to chase for this Grand Prix league. He's got the strategy if there is not another safety car, but Matthias has now moved up into 5th place. Vin Porsche and Waffler having a little scrap for 7th and 8th, both without the DRS. Now it's going to be pure straight line speed and whatever setup you are running, and it seems to be going Vin Porsche's way. The Williams looking in the back, lurking for that position move. He's going to take that move. Saint Power and Waffler side by side. Waffler does hold on to this position. St. Power really struggling for traction. So we're going to see Costas take the position. And it's going to be 3 wide into turn 9. Alpine on the inside. Williams and the Haas fighting for that 9th and 10th. But it's Costas who picks up the scraps. That was a superb little battle. But it's not done yet. Waffler. St. Power and Dandan. It's going to be Dandan around the outside of 10. Superb from Dandan.
Yeah, and Matthias really catching the back of obviously Man's Not Bob and
yeah, he's going to get the move done. He's going to get it done. He's going to get it done.
The leader has now got over.
And Matthias is going to go 2 for 1. Oh my, that was superb. Into corner 1, Matthias takes both cars out of the equation. That was a super cool shot. Oh, that's superb, and it's another safety car for no reason.
Yeah, you say no reason,
it's
but
Perez.
There was a reason. He's got a broken front wing. Now, broken front wings, remember, are very, very dangerous. Yeah, no reason. To be fair, that could have been covered by virtual, but yeah.
Whoever makes the highlights today, I need to see that Matthias move again. That was insane. The helicopter view, oh, it was such a cool sight.
Yeah, it was a pretty insane move, to be fair, from... well, he will probably become our new race leader in this race, who started, obviously, on pole. I imagine Mr. Cookie will now come in, and so will the runners that didn't stop. Of course, the runners that did stop will benefit out of this, so they will probably move up. So I reckon Mr. Cookie will probably come out P4 if everyone pretty much makes their stops now. That didn't. Maybe actually a little bit lower. Might be P actually 6 or something. So, yeah. Once all those on older tyres come in. So, Cookie's in, obviously. Unsurprisingly.
Yep, so Matthias is going to inherit the race lead. There's going to be a lot of drivers in the pit lane.
Obviously, it'll be a question where Mr. Cookie comes out, obviously, and he will come out, I think,
P8.
P9.
Wow.
P10, wow.
P10.
So, a lot to make up for him, but, you know, if there's anyone that can make up all those positions, I'm putting my money on Mr. Cookie, knowing how good he is as a driver. Can he win the race? Potentially. Will he win the race? Well, that'll be a bit maybe tougher. But yeah, I think he'll do it. So, Matthias, obviously, the new race leader. Man's Not Bob. Obviously, still out on those 10-lap-old hard compound tyres. Not really sure what strategy he is exactly going for. Obviously, probably could have come in for a set of mediums. Pretty sure he could get to the end on those. But still. So, hopefully not too long of a safety car. I reckon he'll be in probably next lap, given the fact pretty much the pack is still very, very close to one another. Not really much of a field spread, obviously, due to the fact we've had 2 safety cars now. Still, we've got 18 runners in this race, so still it's an 18-car field. No one has actually retired from the Grand Prix, despite having 2 safety cars. Obviously, FIA being a bit precautious on the delivery of the safety cars. They're pretty much throwing them out there at all costs at the moment. Nonetheless, but yeah, that was a lovely move from Matthias to go around the outside. Do you think that would be overtake of the season?
If that's an actual award, I want to see it at least up there. I'm not sure if he overtake of the season, but it was a super nice move.
Yeah, it was a super nice move. To be fair, actually, I don't think that is an actual award. Even though they should maybe invent it, overtake of the season and submit. Have 3 overtakes submitted each week. That'd be a good idea. To be fair, but still, nonetheless, that was a brilliant move around the outside of the 2 cars. Effectively, it was more like man's not Bob on the exit, and then got Briggsy on the man's not Bob on the entrance, and then Briggsy on the exit.
Yeah, both are because I had the helicopter viewer as well. Super good move. But Matthias is also going to see himself get a pretty good distance away from Mans and Bob. Obviously, Matthias is the quicker driver out of the 2, and also on 6-lap fresher tyres. Well, it's not even 6 laps. It's actually like 2 laps for Matthias because of the safety cars.
Yeah, but even then, let's just say for every lap you got an older set of tyres, that may be worth a tenth a lap or something.
Yeah.
You know, so I think a lap of fuel is worth about 2/10. So yeah, or it can be. So yeah, probably about a tenth a lap or whatever he's got in hand over Man's not plus his natural raw pace. So be a good opportunity for Matthias to put out a good lead.
Yeah, Matthias has backed up the pack a little bit more than what Mr. Cookie did. And Matthias has gone now, and he is more well and truly left Mans Not Bob in the mud. Then Porsche is going to close up to the back now of Mans Not Bob, and he's going to make this move. Maybe into turn 1, he's going to get the slipstream down the pit straight, and it is lap 13 here at Yas Marina. CPI Matthias leads the Grand Prix on that new set of hard tyres, and he's already 1.5 seconds clear of the Red Bull of Mans Not Bob. That second, Vin Porsche is going to make the move for second place down into turn 4. Can Vin Porsche make it? Skicky's going to choose to go round the outside of the Red Bull. Cannot make a move. He's going to go for a little bit of a switcheroo out of the hairpin down the back straight. Slipstream, and now side by side with the Alpine. Koska's being forced off the track onto the rumble strip. Vin Porsche is going to go past the Red Bull. He's going to be 3 wide into the chicane. Koska's backs out. Vin Porsche versus Mans Not Bob. What can the AlphaTauri do? He can get into second place. That is what he can do. 2.5 seconds from the lead already. This is also, you can see Koska going past the Red Bull 2. Mans Not Bob with a terrible start. Not being able to get those hard tyres up and running. Vin Porsche now under pressure from Koska. A little beautiful scrap on the opening of the safety car restart. But it is Vin Porsche who's going to hold on to that position just for the minute. Alia closing also on the back of Algeri.
Well, Alia is on the back of Algeri. Been watching Mr. Cookie. He had a lovely scrap with Briggsy, but both of them picked up 3-second penalties. So that's even more bad news, I suppose, for Mr. Cookie. But Actually, talking about Matthias, what a lovely restart he done actually there. I know you said he backed up the pack, but that was absolutely beautiful tactics from him to get the jump on Man's Not Bob and done it so perfectly there.
And speaking of Man's Not Bob, he's about to lose another position. This one to Dan, the Tier 3 title contender, along with Neil, almost gets himself into 4th place. And he's also not going to give this up either. Man's Not Bob under huge pressure now from Dan once again into the chicane. Man's Not Bob on the inside. Dan is going to try and pick his breaking point. He's going to get the inside line from out of the chicane, and he's going to try and drive to turn 9. Dan has got the position and is now into 4th place. Man's Not Bob, I don't think he's going to be able to challenge here. I think Dan is going to hold on to that position. Man's Not Bob did just have a little lunge down the inside, but the outside line is where you want to be for that corner, and he's going to get the position. Alia into 10th place as well, getting the position onto Briggsy, and there's a yellow flag. That's going to be Algieri spinning at turn 9.
Hopefully not a third safety car.
No, we're all good, we're all good.
Thank goodness.
But the gap up front already at 4 seconds, and Matthias setting the fastest lap as well.
So, yeah, gap is pretty big up front. Cookie is already 9 seconds off the lead with a 3-second penalty, so effectively 12 seconds off. Then Porsche doing a good job to keep up his pace out in second. And Kotos going with him at the moment. But Mr. Cookie is going to go around the outside, is he? Of Tom? No, but it's going to get a lovely cutback then, and we'll have good straight line speed. But Man's Not Bob comes across, gives his teammate a bit of a tow, but that's kind of disadvantaged Mr. Cookie. But Mr. Cookie will have then the better traction out of the chicane, will he? Nope, but will have the DRS, whereas Mercedes driver of Tom won't. So he's going to have to go round the outside into turn 9, gets the move done, and by the time we get to the exit, this one should just be complete. Still Tom is there just about, but Tom is now behind the Red Bull driver, who has moved himself up into P5.
Yeah, also, while we weren't looking at that, McCoskers did get the 2nd place off of Vin Porsche. But still, 4.1 seconds clear, but Vin Porsche is probably not going to give this up anytime soon. And we'll have it. Let's have a quick look at the penalties. 3 seconds for Cookie and Perez. And co-start. 6 seconds for Aramleth and Algieri, and then 11 seconds for Briggsy. Charlie Harris and Man's Not Bob once again having a little scrap. Alia gets the position onto Aramleth as well. It is Charlie Harris overtaking Man's Not Bob. Vin Porsche is once again in the DRS, and that's Algieri, who's retired from the session, our first retiree of the session. Vin Porsche is going to go retaking this 2nd place, easy as you like, with the DRS down the back straight, no new questions asked. Cookie gets the position onto Dan. He's a bit further away than he was a few laps ago from Matthias, but it's all about salvaging what he can from this Grand Prix now.
However, Cookie has been really, really fast on this lap. He's gained about a second on this lap so far on Matthias, so still not over yet this race, I wouldn't say. And there's a lot to still play out depending on his pace, which is looking quick as he continues to now chase down what will be the first 2 podium spots of 2nd and 3rd in this race then for today. Obviously, Vin Porsche and Kotos having a little bit of their own battle here, which might have to be paused a little bit as there's a flying Red Bull behind them who will be probably on their tail in a second or 2. As FC getting past then in the pits, by the looks of it, they're having a pit stop battle down at Ferrari and Alpine, as Kotos will then overtake then the AlphaTauri of Vin Porsche once again, but Vin Porsche will have DRS for this second straight.
Oh, he's gone
Vin
wide.
Porsche got that all wrong. Not Vin Porsche, Kotos got that all wrong, and Vin Porsche is easily going to get back through then, and he's back up into then second in Porsches and ahead of Kotos, but they are losing a lot of time to the race leader.
There's a load of position changes here. And both position changes are going to be due to the Mercedes sort of falling down the pack here. Alia gets overtaken. Alia overtakes Tom KH. This is Aram left and Charlie Harris having a little scrub. Aram left, bit of contact from the Mercedes. Who's going to see Cavendish on the inside? It's a front wing damage. And this is going to bring out another safety car. But Matthias is already, a lot of these drivers has already passed the pit lane. Who's going to jump in? Alia is going to get the free pit stop. On 6-lap hards though, I'm not sure if that's necessary. One person that is going to benefit, man's not Bob. He's going to put on his fresh set of tyres now.
I'm not really sure anyone actually benefits out of the stopping now, because either way, because Matthias didn't pick up the, the safety car immediately, therefore he will be running under virtual safety car delta, so he will effectively get a free stop like the rest of them. So. Yeah. Should be all good. In terms of big beneficiary, you'd have to say maybe Mr. Cookie, because he will be brought right back into the race in terms of strategy. So, yeah, Mr. Cookie is probably the real big beneficiary out of it, even though he's got 3 seconds. I think for the rest of them, it'll be interesting to see what they do in terms of tyre strategy, whether they go softs or hards. Tom's gone for softs so far. Pretty much the others all gone for mediums, which obviously wouldn't say that's wrong, but obviously I do think softs can probably get to the end of the Grand Prix from here. Obviously, usually they do have 2 cliffs, obviously around 15% or 15-20%.
Oh, Matthias is in the pit lane.
Yeah, that's unsurprising. I think that's the right call though. He is on 12-lap old hards, as Mr. Cookie almost hit the back of the Alpine driver of Kotos there. That was very close. But Cookie's going for for softs, and Matthias has gone for mediums. So
yeah, he's going to hold on for the long run.
And is Charlie going to get out ahead of
very close.
Matthias? No, that is close though. So, for a split second, that could have been Charlie in the lead of a Grand Prix, but obviously he won't be.
Charlie Harris has just let Matthias through. That's weird.
Not entirely sure. But still, they'll work it out anyway. So, for Mr. Cookie, down in 6th, but obviously does have 2 cars, probably annoyingly more than anything, ahead of him on older compounder tyres. Should be easy to dispatch, but nonetheless, there'll be still a bit of a strangle onto his race, it will be, and potential reason why he won't go on to probably challenge Matthias. So, looking very good for Matthias. Obviously, Matthias won last week in Brazil and on track to win once again this week in Abu Dhabi. And, of course, will secure that position ahead of Williams in the Constructors' Championship for Aston Martin.
As also, Alpine will overtake McLaren for 9th place.
So a lot of obviously still to play for in this race. Just checking the constructors, seeing if maybe Aston Martin could overtake.
No, I don't think so.
Ferrari and
45 points. No, not possible.
45 points. No. To be fair, they wouldn't either way do it because they're not scoring 45 points.
The only thing that could happen is a Ferrari onto Alfa Romeo. However, Dan in a position where Alfa Romeo will seal that position. Red Bull are the Haas, so Red Bull in a deficit of 12 at the minute. Are they in a position maybe to take that position? How many points do they have at the minute?
They've got
Got 11 at the minute, no?
11.
So
11. It's 9-point gap. So 61 points.
So this battle
Red Bull.
between Manzapov and Sir Waffler could be very pivotal.
Yeah, it could be. Does reserves score points?
Yes.
So, yeah, that could be a very pivotal. In fact, to be fair, right. Cookie scoring, obviously, right now, 10. So, Waffler's 2, so he'll get then 2, that's 8. So, right now, I think Man's Not Bob wouldn't be doing enough to do it. So, he would need to at least overtake Sir Waffler and probably a Ramleth on the track. So, could all come down to really if he can get past a Ramleth. Obviously, doesn't have any penalty, so that will benefit him potentially. So, yeah, there is a lot at stake here in these final few laps. Plus, all depends where Mr. Cookie gets up to, because I think Mr. Cookie probably does have enough pace in his car to at least get P2 in the race. So, yeah, not sure about the win now, but probably can get easily a P2 out of it. So that would be crucial for Red Bull's constructors' hopes in terms of beating Haas in the constructors. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. Obviously, last time Matthias came or went a bit early actually, backed up the pack a lot. This time, not backing them up as much, so probably going to go a bit later than him.
Yeah, he definitely is going to have to.
He will go probably in a second or two from now.
So Matthias, with his second safety car restart of the evening, is going to go now just before turn 16. Charlie Harris in the mud. The old hard tyre is not really going to stand a chance for these opening few laps. All that Matthias can do is push his absolute heart out to build the gap, and he's already got 1.2 seconds, and the longer Vin Porsche is stuck behind Charlie Harris, the bigger it is going to get. Mr. Cookie desperate to get past the Alpine, and all these cars swoop left and right through turns 2 and 3, 2 side by side into the hairpin. This is Vin Porsche under Charlie Harris, choosing the outside rather than the inside. There's a lot of contact. Vin Porsche involved in that. Charlie, huge amount of contact now, almost 4 wide. Down the back straight, Koskas did the position into P2, but he's now being swallowed up by the Red Bull and the AlphaTauri. He's going to come out on top now. Charlie Harris still in second place. How has he held on to that second place? Mr. Cookie sees himself into third. Vin Porsche on his inside does get the position, but better traction for the Red Bull. He's going to see himself just get ahead of the Alpine. This is a real squabble here for these positions. Gandan also in the hunt, as well as Alia looking to pick up these positions. Manzapov gets the position onto Waffler. That is big for the constructors, and now he has to try and get onto the back of the McLaren. Alia and Dandan having a scrap here as well. Dandan overtaken by the Aston. Dandan really under a lot of pressure here because he's getting those soft tyres up to speed. What a chaotic restart, and somehow Charlie Harris is still third. Well, maybe not for much longer.
That has cost all of them a lot of time,
yep,
and
4
Matthias
seconds.
enjoys 4 seconds of a gap after 1 lap of safety car. So, yeah, for Mr. Cookie, this is going to be a crucial move. It's a now or never if he wants to maybe go and chase off the race win if he has enough pace, but I have a doubt.
He's going to get it.
But he has got it, so that is a key move for his race.
And for Red Bull also, most importantly, because Charlie Harris is going to be slowing down the pack behind him. This can maybe see him build that 2-second gap, but Charlie Harris is going to come back at him, I think, almost. Alia on the inside on the Mercedes. This is really going to help Cookie build that 3-second gap. Alia around the outside, that was a super nice move. Aram left, loses a position, and Manzapov is up into, he was in 8th place. He's also now being pressured by the Hasses, almost 4 wide, now into turn 9. A lot of contact there, and the McLaren does see himself stay ahead, and he's also going to go into the side of Sir Waffler, almost Manzapov, and there's a lot of contact, that's 2 cars out. That is Briggsy, and that is the Ferrari of Koscar.
And that's a safety car.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is an insane race we've got here. Literally, how that was just insane, really, racing from everyone. I mean, that was, going to happen, I think, that safety car. Because, there was so much, what do you call it, drivers going 4 wide, 5 wide, yeah, it was just almost silliness in some sense. Interestingly, Mr. Cookie is into the pit lane
Um,
again. Not really sure that's the correct strategy call now. I think that I know obviously fresh tyres is going to be always a beneficial advantage, but I'm not exactly sure that will exactly be the best strategy call on this occasion. Now, I'm not really sure why hasn't the safety car picked up the race leader? I thought the safety car came out at the right time, no?
I'm not. Maybe
So,
Matthias has already crossed the line.
no, I thought the safety car came out before Matthias was across. Not really too sure because it just looked like it let the Matthias go, but yeah,
Hmm.
have to watch the race back to see why. Probably.
And I think Jay Horse has just put it perfectly. What has Cookie just done? Not only ruined any sort of chance for his own race, but also for Red Bull. Cavallis now sits in 8th place and Sir Waffler in 6th place. So any sort of hopes that Red Bull had a chance of overtaking Haas is now gone for Mr. Cookie's decision to pit off a 2-lap set of soft tyres. I mean, I'm not...
Well, Mr. Cookie has crumbled, to literally put it like that.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what he was thinking.
Yeah, he's just crumbled, or yeah, he's crumbled under the pressure. In the end, that's all that can be said there for Mr. Cookie. Still, could be worse. Still, Matthias is leading. Brilliant result for Aston Martin, who are on track for a first and a third. And potentially, if Ali can get past then Porsche, then it could be a 1-2 for Aston Martin. Obviously, I think, wasn't it? Well, I only remember one 1-2 in recent weeks, and that was Lewis and his teammate, the other Williams. Can't remember who his teammate was at the time in Tier 3. I think it was Tier 3 Mexico in recent weeks. So this would be another potential 1-2 on the cards for then Aston Martin, and obviously that would be brilliant for them. Aramlif now up to 4th. Aramlif is having a really, really good race. Obviously he does have a penalty to serve, but he's having a really, really good race, and
Yeah.
usually not really a driver that is delivered top performance. Potential podium on the cards for a Ramliff tonight, which is nice to see. So go on a Ramliff, that'd be good. But Matthews obviously will have only 5 laps or 4 laps to defend his race lead here in Tier 1. So, lap 25, safety car will probably be in at the end of this lap. And when we go racing, we'll have about 4 or 5 laps left to cover. Currently, only 2 retirements of Costa and Algri. A very horrible day for Ferrari, which means the hopes of, potentially finishing P3. I think it's P3. Where are they in the championship? P3 or P2? Let's have a quick look. P2, sorry. The hopes of finishing P2 in the championship are all but gone. as Alfa Romeo will definitely secure that no matter where Dandan finishes. So that is at least P2 settled in this one. In terms of P4, currently, actually, to be fair, how many points is in it? There's 45 points, so currently 44's max, or 45 would be the max. So, to be fair, Aston Martin could end up with the same points if Ali gets past Vin Porsche.
And doesn't Matthias have the fastest lap?
Not really too sure. Yes, he does. So, if Matthias keeps the fastest lap and Alia gets past Vin Porsche, Ferrari and Aston Martin could, in theory, have the exact same points.
Yeah, because both Ferraris are out.
Exactly. So that could be just a little bit of hope for Aston Martin there. However, not necessarily sure that fastest lap will stand, but we'll have to wait and see.
Well, if they wanted to make the move, it's going to happen pretty soon. And what has happened at the back? What on earth?
Well, Matthias has gone.
Ali is just going to second place. I'm not really sure what's happening at the back here. There's a lot of miscommunication. Everyone's falling places. Gandan has retired. A Haas doesn't have a front wing. There's a Williams and a Haas side by side. Matthias did nothing wrong on that safety car restart. No one else just wanted to drive, I guess. FC has been forced wide.
No, they've all literally given up on the final race in the final.
Yeah, they just didn't want to drive because Matthias did nothing wrong there.
No, and it still looks absolutely insane at the back. We've got 4 wide almost down the straight. Cavolis is without a front wing. Looks like the M25 on a busy day as Cavolis sends one down the inside.
Oh my, that was a Williams missing his breaking point. Oh my god.
Who knows?
It's like 6 wide.
Many. I don't even know what's going on really. Pretty entertaining, but not really helpful for the commentators or for us to.
Yeah, it's very hard to tell what's going on, and Vin Porsche has retaken that second place off of Alia. I think Alia kind of gave that position back from the safety car. That was a chaotic restart, but Matthias actually did nothing wrong. He's already 4.8 seconds ahead. Waffler overtakes Charlie Harrison, and Waffler goes deep in doing so, and he's been forced by both Mercedes there. Dropped to 11th place in the end. Oh, what is going on there? Oh my god, a Haas. Oh my, I thought Haas was smashing someone. Waffler is in the pit lane. Matthias has got a 3-second penalty. What is going on? Loads of cars in the pit lane. Both Haas is now out of the points. Red Bull should now get this constructor standings above Haas for 6th place. Along as Cookie to close up to the back of Briggsy. That should be simple enough. Briggsy now side by side with the Mercedes of Tom KH Alia. All that he has to do now is skate in the 3-second window of Vin Porsche to take the constructor standings and tie himself with Ferrari for 3rd place. I want to say 3rd place.
Yeah, it would be a joint 3rd for them in theory. So yeah, this is a good opportunity then. Only 2 laps to go for them to Mr. Cookie is almost up the order then. He's really on a charge, so he's be up into 2nd. Not 2nd, into 8th, sorry. 2nd. Would have been 2nd, oh well. Briggsy is going to be the next target for Mr. Cookie, and obviously, as you said, reserves can score points, so for Mr. Cookie, this is going to be a good opportunity for him to help Red Bull secure that, 8th place in the Constructors ahead of Haas, or be whatever ahead of Haas. So, yeah, it'd be a good chance for him, and goes for the switchback. It's a nice move on Briggsy, but not quite getting the move done. So, obviously, we'll have a chance into the hairpin. Obviously, no DRS, I don't think, is enabled at the moment. So, it'll have to be a pure overtake
DRS is
without
enabled.
the DRS. I know it is enabled. So, this will help. But obviously, Brizzy's got the DRS as well. So, it's going to be an even drag race into the chicane. Obviously, Cookies on the inside, both leave each other just enough space. However, the teammate has gone a bit, and Powers made a mistake, and I think that affected Briggsy on the exit there.
Yeah, 100%.
Which has allowed. So we're on the final lap, aren't we? Or are we on the
Yeah, just about to. This is really crucial for Aston Martin. Ali has got an opportunity to take that third place off Ferrari or tie with Ferrari. All he has to do is not lose a second on this lap. And Vin Porsche has lost a huge amount of time there. He's almost lost 3/10. Alia has to stay in that 3-second window and they will get themselves into third place for the championship. 2 points flat, it's 2 seconds flat as all he needs to keep it at for the rest of this lap. No battery, no DRS, or it was only going to be pure race pace. No mistakes can be made. The Williams and the McLaren and the Williams and the Mercedes going side by side now through these corners. Gearbox to rear wing. Tom Gayard is going to send a move on the inside of the Williams and he's going to send one on the McLaren as well. Just not enough there. Williams goes into the back of the Mercedes. Alia is still just doing enough to hold on to that second place and bring a 1-2 home for Aston Martin. Let's go on board with Vin Porsche to see how he handles these next few corners. Tom KH now on the back of Aram Leth, also driving down into turn 9. He's going to have the DRS. Aram Leth will still keep the DRS, however. Let's go on to the race leader. Matthias, flawless from the start. He took pole. He took the race league back on the first lap. He lost it to Cookie. Cookie with a nightmare. And it's going to be Matthias. He's going to take the win here in Abu Dhabi. Matthias wins for Aston Martin. Vin Porsche will cross the line in second. But it's actually going to be Alia who ties the championship for Ferrari and ties it. And it is going to be Vin Porsche and with AlphaTauri, and most importantly with AlphaTauri, they are your Constructors Champions in Season 2. A nice job, who hasn't been here for 3 weeks, has still won the Drivers' Championships. They are both your Constructors and Drivers winners, so congratulations to nice job. And AlphaTauri, Red Bull are going to take the position off of Haas with a 4-5, Tom KH. In 6th place is St. Power and Briggsy in 7th and 8th for Williams. There is an Alpine 910, which will see them move above McLaren in Constructors.
Yeah, so there we go then. Aston Martin finish a joint 3rd. Red Bull move up into 7th ahead of Haas. And AlphaTauri, as you said, a nice job, are your Constructors and Drivers Champions of Tier 1 of ERL this season. So that is both or all championship positions settled. Who's your driver of the day?
Matthias.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to say Ali is my driver of the day, due to the fact he had a brilliant comeback race in that one. So, yeah, credit where credit is due to all of them. Have to wait and see now what happens. I suppose next season, which hopefully will be just as exciting, if not even more so, in ERL, of course.
Well, I will just go through the race classification for the final time. Matthias and Aston Martin pick up the win, and they pick up the 1-2. They also pick up 3rd place in the drive or the constructors' standings. Then Porsche seals it for AlphaTauri, who take home the constructors' championships and the drivers' championship. Manza, Bob, and Cookie do their part to get Red Bull into 6th place of the standings as well. Tom sits 6th for Mercedes, as well as Williams in a 7, 8, and then Costas and FC do enough just to get them up above McLaren for 9th place in the standings. Aram Leth came close to defending that 9th, but was 1 place too short. Cavalis and Charlie Harris, as well as Perez, Waffler, Dandan, Koscott, and Algeri were out of the points. Well, I think it is probably about time to say that I won't be here for next season. It will be Ology and whoever does want to take the Tier 1, also whoever does take over Tier 1, I wish them all the best. And is there anything you want to say, Ology?
No, just thank you for being commentator. Obviously, it's been nice having you here. Be very different next season, not having you here. Be It's only a different feel, but in the commentator's box or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, just been nice. Real pleasure sharing it with you every moment possible that's been this season. And yeah, thank you. That's all I really want to say. And hope you obviously, um, stay part of the community and stay around for longer, of course.
Yep, absolutely.
Maybe have more good moments at different leagues or whatever. Still.
Well, if you wanted to see a bit more of me and Ology, Saturday we are running the GRL pre-season. So if you need any information, please contact me or just join via the partnerships channel. That would be the pre-season race, not the actual race, just pre-season. The main season starts on the 28th of October in a track I haven't said yet because the calendar's not out yet. But this has been ERL Season 2. This was the finale, and this is it. So thank you to everyone who stopped in, and good night.